All right, good evening, everyone. I'm going to start the meeting. This is the Dundee Township Trustees regular meeting, Wednesday, July 15th, 2020. I will read the following notice. This meeting of the Dundee Township Board of Trustees will be held via a telephone conference call in accordance with the Illinois Governor's executive order and disaster declarations regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. To participate in this meeting as a member of the general public, good evening. You will, until public comments, will stay muted. When public comments come up, I will unmute you one at a time. Senate Bill 2135 went into law, which addresses electronic meetings during time periods when the governor has issued a disaster declaration like the situation we are in now. Pursuant to this new law, the township board meeting will be conducted by audio or video conference without physical present quorum of the Dundee Township Board because the disaster declaration related to COVID-19 public health concerns affecting the township. Pursuant to this law, I have determined that an in-person meeting at the township building with all participants is not practical, nor is it prudent because of this disaster. Township officials, legal counsels, and the township administrator will not be physically present at the township building for if it, excuse me, just to let you know, I, Dundee Township Supervisor Patricia A. Glees, is physically in the building. This meeting will also be audio and video recorded and made available to the public as provided by law, and all votes will be done by roll call. The board video will be online by 12 p.m. Thursday, July 16th. It is now 7:06. Mr. Black, can I please have a roll call?
Okay. Physically present, Supervisor Glees.
Here.
Okay, attending remotely, Trustee Harney.
Here.
Trustee Aherns.
Here.
Trustee Schaffer.
Here.
Trustee Johnson.
Here.
Seeing that the 5 people of the board are present, we will continue with this meeting. Trustee Aherns, would you please lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of
of the United States of America,
and to
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with
liberty and justice for all.
For all.
Thank you, everyone. We're getting better at that. All right. With that, could I am looking to approve or amend the agenda as presented. I need a first motion. And remember, board, I can't see Ken or Richard today, so please say your name.
Harney moved to approve the budget, or the agenda, excuse me.
I got the agenda. Do I have a second?
A second, it's Johnson.
Okay, thank you,
With discussion.
Trustee Johnson. And we are going to start discussion. Yes. Go ahead. Table is open. Is there any discussion?
Trustee George.
Wait, don't talk over each other. 1 minute. Who just said something?
I did, Johnson.
Go ahead, Trustee Johnson.
I would like to see under old business an update on the budget, reopening the budget.
We are reopening the budget. That is slated for July 29th at 6:30 p.m. The public notice went out.
I think that were the trustees notified of that?
Via public notice, yes, because at the last board meeting, when it was approved to reopen the budget, I stated it would be a 30-day. It has to be a 30-day public hearing, and we benchmarked that week.
Okay.
Okay, Trustee Schaffer.
Go ahead.
I know that the resolution for the abolition of the Highway Commissioner office or the Road and District showed up on the agenda again. We voted on this last time, and I would like to see it removed.
Okay. Just to give everybody who is listening, Trustee Harney contacted me and asked to be put back on the agenda. I spoke to legal counsel, and it would require a motion to reconsider, which requires one trustee who voted in the majority to make the first motion to put this back on the table to discuss. Trustee Schaffer, you're asking to have it removed. Do I have any other comments to remove it? Or to amend, that would be amending the agenda as it was presented.
Aherns, I also agree to have it removed.
That's two. Trustee Harney or Trustee Johnson, do I have any comments from you?
No comment.
No,
Okay.
no
All
comment.
right. Seeing that there's only two that will essentially stay on the budget, and we will see what happens as we get through that.
Was there a motion to amend the agenda? Because if there was, take a roll call on.
Well, there was a motion. We're discussing it. Trustee Schaffer and Trustee Aherns would like to take something off the budget. I'm sorry, off the agenda, but there's only two of them who agree to do it.
Okay, just wanted to make sure there wasn't actually a motion to amend. That's all. Yep.
That is correct. There is no motion to amend. All right. Do I see any more discussion?
Can I, wait, what is the clarification for removal of that item? Because it only took one person to get this back on, and I thought it took more than one person to add an item. Or should I be asking every meeting to have items added and you will add them?
Well, Trustee Schaffer, I have always added anything that, and as you know that in January when you put the two resolutions on, I have always added anything to the agenda that the trustees deem to be on the agenda that would fall out of the quote unquote trustee report section. So
And that
I
will
guess
happen in the future.
it always has, sir.
So what is the process for having it removed? Because I thought you said that you would require two people to have this brought forward and then a amendment if we amend the agenda.
Okay.
So can I have the agenda amended?
You only have two people to agenda a budget, not the agenda, not three.
But we have not voted.
I understand that, but only two people want this taken off the agenda.
We
Only
have
two.
not heard that. I had no comment from George.
George said
I had
no comment at this
from
time.
you,
Let him
Miss-
speak.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But doesn't it take only two people to bring a amended motion to the table? If I make an amendment to amend the agenda and Richard seconds it, does that not require a vote?
So
Yes.
make it.
All right, so
Make the
make the
motion.
amendment. Make the motion for the amendment.
I'm making a motion to amend the budget to exclude the road commissioner item at the bottom of our as new business.
Okay,
Since we voted on it the last time, And if we get a second, then we at least have to vote.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second, Richard.
Okay. Do I have any more discussion on this?
So just to be clear, Trish, a yes vote is to remove it. A no
Right.
vote is to keep it on. Okay.
That is correct. Yes to remove, no to keep it on. With that, could I please have a voice vote for the amendment on the agenda to remove under new business, the motion to reconsider the resolution 2020-02, the resolution providing and requiring the proposition to put on the ballot the abolishing of the Dundee Township Road District.
Trustee Schaefer,
Yes.
Trustee Ahrens,
Yes.
Trustee Harney,
No.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Supervisor Glees.
I am going to abstain as my vote does not matter. Okay, the amended agenda, we will remove that from new business. Okay, is there a
But question?
Trustee Schaefer?
Yes.
ahead.
Does abstaining require a clarification or not?
That's what? I can't hear.
Does abstaining require a clarification? My vote does not matter. You have 3 yeses, so I am abstaining.
There's no legal requirement to explain an abstention.
Okay, thank you.
With that, is there any other amendments to this agenda as you see? Seeing there is no more discussion, can I please have a voice vote?
Okay. Trustee Ahrens,
Yes.
Trustee Harney,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Clarification, what are we voting on now?
approving the agenda as amended.
Yes.
Trustee Schaefer,
Yes.
Supervisor Glees.
Yes, seeing that there is a quorum of 5 votes, the agenda has been approved. Moving on to the minutes and the treasurer's report. I am looking for a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes from June 17th, 2020 Board of Trustees regular meeting, either to approve or if necessary, amend. Do I have a motion? I need a first.
Johnson.
Can I have a second?
Schaefer.
Bernie's. Okay,
Trustee
Ken.
Schaefer. Thank you very much. It is 7:17 and I'm opening the table to discussion. Is there any questions about the minutes? Seeing that there is no discussion, I am going to close the discussion time. May I have a voice vote, please?
Trustee Harney,
Yes.
Trustee Ahrens,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Schaefer,
Yes.
Supervisor Glees.
Yes. Okay, I am now looking for a motion to approve or amend the treasurer's report through June 30th, 2020, along with the financial statements through July 15th, 2020, and will Trustee Harney please give me a bank account?
You know, Trish, I really can't
Okay.
do that because I'm operating off my telephone and I can't see that it's too small. I study things ahead of time, but I can't move my screen around. I
That's
don't have a
fine.
dual screen.
Trustee Aherns, can you give us an account?
Same shape.
Okay. Trustee Johnson?
All right, I'm looking at the bank reconciliation report.
Yes, sir.
All right, it is line item road and bridge money market 0715.
Thank you. Bob, would you like me to give the number?
No, I'm looking at
Oh.
the actual bank statement, just to be
Okay, I'm sorry.
honest
That's
here.
fine.
Uh,
Okay.
252-215.15.
That is correct.
Okay, now, can I have a motion? I need a motion to discuss now that we have the account and to open up discussion. May I have a motion? I didn't get a motion before I pulled the account number. My fault.
So it's a motion to approve.
Yes.
Okay, I'll move that. Harney move to approve the
Okay, do I-
the treasurer's report. Is that right?
Yes. Do I have
Okay.
a second?
Second.
Second, Johnson.
I heard Richard first, so I'm going to go with Trustee Aherns. All right, is there any discussion? Seeing that there is no discussion, I am going to call close the table, and can I please have a voice vote?
Trustee Harney,
Yes.
Trustee Aherns,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Schaefer,
Yes.
Supervisor Glees.
Yes. Okay. With that, we are going to move to reports. And I am going to start with Highway Commissioner Sinnett. Highway Commissioner Sinnett, can you unmute yourself, please? And give us your report if you have one?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Yes, we can.
Okay, well, we finished the paving and the guys are out striping and cleaning little bits and pieces of stuff, you know. And other than that, we're mowing, trimming, just dealing with everyday stuff. We do have something new that's come into the world here. On Chateau West in the subdivision, God almighty, Frontenac, couldn't remember it. We got a problem with one of the storm drains down there on Chateau West. We had a cave in, so we had a hole about 2 foot square. So we went down to investigate, and they never poured any manholes under the street in this section. They've got 3 or 4 pipes where the creek continues under the road, and the pipes are lined up kind of where they should be, and they just took concrete rings and set them down over the pipes and then just poured concrete around the whole thing. I've never seen anything like it, but so what's happening is the water is coming so crazy lately, it's digging a hole under the concrete they poured in there, and it's going to erode the whole thing. So I'm going to start this week to get prices on fixing that, because there's no way we can leave it like that. The creek could wash out the whole street. It's just a matter of time, I think. Other than that, everything's pretty much the same day in, day out. Any questions?
Do I see any questions?
It's quiet. I thought everybody left.
No, we're still here. We're still here.
I got a question. You got all your phone numbers straightened out to where you're getting your calls now instead of everything going to the office?
Yes, sir. Everything is working great now. We do have that problem resolved.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other comments? Okay. Thank you very much, Highway Commissioner Sinnett. I'm going to ask you to mute yourself again.
Got it.
if you like, or you can stay live or whatever. Assessor Bielak, would you please go next?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay,
We can't see you, but we can hear you.
okay. Kane County Supervisor of Assessments published our assessment changes on July 8th. The appeal deadline will be Friday, August 7th, 2020. We published less than, somewhere around 4,000 changes or less, not very many. We've been taking calls steadily since the publication and since notices did go out in the mail. Commercial ones, as usual, don't come in until the last 2 weeks of the appeal period. They're starting to trickle in. A couple of daycares were trickling in, trying to request COVID relief because they were shut down, but that is after the first of the year. Therefore, there won't be any consideration for an assessment reduction, not until next year. We have one person in the office on the phones. That's really not absolutely necessary. We have been working remotely, but we do have somebody in the office right now just taking the weight of the phone calls. I say the weight. It's an electronic weighting device where they get most of the phone calls at that one extension and they disperse them to the other extensions. And it's seamless, it's transparent, it's just like being in the office. So the taxpayers are still being assisted just like they were when we were in the office. We're able to answer any questions on the fly as best we can. We do review the exemptions with the taxpayer at the time we're on the phone with them, make sure they have all their exemptions that they're entitled to. And then we try and review their assessment as best possible at that time. If we can't come to a conclusion at that point, then we'll review it further and get back to them down the road. That's about it. That's it. I'm done.
Any questions? Mike, I'm going to ask the question and hopefully you can answer it. There's always the question of with COVID, is there a potential that the township will not get its allocated money that that we have from property taxes of Kane County? Is there a potential we will not get that money for this budget cycle?
No, I don't see that. It seems every time there's a downturn, there's worries and concern that, oh, we're not going to get our levy because of the downturn. Well, property taxes are the most steady and reliable source of taxes there is out there. It is, bottom line, that's it. Everybody has to pay their taxes. If you don't pay them, somebody's going to pay them for you and grab your property. Or if something goes in foreclosure, the bank's going to pay those taxes. Taxes get paid in real estate. So I believe you could partially answer that question right now. I think you guys just got your first payment installment from the county, and if that wasn't short,
right, that is correct.
We should be fine, and we should be fine going forward.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to give the open space report. So from our naturalist foreman, he provided you with his extensive report. Just want to highlight the fact that we are, due to past storms, we are taking down, or trees have been taken down for us. So we're doing a lot of cleanup. In particular, we did 2 cleanups around the Jelke Creek sign, which is located on Sleepy Hollow Road, and the Raceway Woods sign, which is on Huntley. Since the road work and Huntley is done, we've cleaned up those signs, cleaned up that area And those, we're moving forward there. I do want to talk about the drain tile, which is located on the Bartles property. And so there appears to be a broken drain tile. However, it also appears that it is on the Park District's property as opposed to our property via an IGA. And in that IGA, we transferred property to the Park District for the golf course in exchange for property at Library Springs that butts up against Route 25 and the pool. So even though on the Kane County maps, it looks like it's our property, it's really under the Park District. So I'll be working with them so that they understand, or particularly the foreman or the golf master. I'm not exactly sure what the term of his title is, but that he understands that is his property and that drain tile is his. Any questions on that? Okay. Any questions on Kirby's report as you were, as you received it earlier and read through it? Okay, that's great. Let's go to the Kane County board member, which is Mr. Kios. Mr. Kios, I'm looking for you. If I don't find you soon enough, could you please unmute yourself? There you go.
I just unmuted myself.
Thank you, sir. Go
Okay,
ahead.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Glees, and thank you, members of the trustees for the Dundee Township, and thank you for your service. The items that I have, a few items I have from the county this evening here I have in my notes, which I will be able to pull up now that I got unmuted, is that the county received $92 million in April, and from the CARES Act, we have recently formed a committee. There's a little politicking go on. It took a couple months to get it organized, but we formed a CARES Act allocation committee, formed last week. Jarrett Sanchez, who is the board member in Carpentersville, and Cliff Sturgis are on that committee. So if you have any questions directly to the committee, that would be some people to ask. You can ask me as I sit in all the meetings and try and stay informed as well. Yesterday, we brought a resolution to the full board and established that we would be distributing the $92 million in a 55-45 split, 55 to the county and 45 to municipalities. We plan on making 80% of that available as soon as possible, hopefully by the 1st of August, as soon as possible right away, possibly the 1st of August, would depend on, we're developing an application and an IGA. And with the submission of those forms, the application and an approved IGA, we plan on distributing the money as equitably as possible on a per capita basis. There will be a portion, no one has been excluded from that. The only amount that's been apportioned thus far is approximately $8 million to the county health department to begin organizing the contact tracing and make sure that there's PPE on stock and educating the public. And the CAC committee, CARES Act Allocation Committee, will be meeting next Monday again. It's available to anybody to listen in to see how that develops. And like I said, we got a late start, so I think we're making great progress. John Hoshite is the chairman of that committee, and it looks like it's moving smoothly now, and we should have the money distributed and have it available shortly. And it includes fire districts and townships, although they aren't mentioned prominently because there are a lot of, because of the organization of the Metro West group has all the municipalities involved in it. No one has been excluded, not townships or fire protection districts. What the final breakdown will be will depend on the applications and the intergovernment agreements, IGAs.
What kind of things are eligible for funding, Chris?
It's COVID-related expenses, so payrolls that, and there was some question that maybe the full payroll would be, like for a fire department, would be eligible, but anything that was extra that was not budgeted at the beginning of the year, say extra cleaning or extra PPE or anything that's COVID-related, extra transportation, that's been identified thus far. I don't know exactly. I think the submission would, if you made a good case, that it would be, and that's part of the reason we want to have I'm sure that's the main reason we want to have a submission of a form, because it's difficult for the county to identify exactly what would be, what the individual townships and individual municipalities are doing. So they need to submit a form and state their reasonable case about what the extra expenses are.
King County member, King County Chaos, let me, so what the townships have started to gather, because the townships under King County have all gotten together, just like Metro West did with the municipalities, it would be all of our PPE products, all of the gloves, the masks, the cleaning supplies, along with anything that required people to work at home. So Assessor Bielak had to purchase some extra telephone headphones for calls, etc. So all of that is highlighted, or at least we're earmarking it COVID related. And so those would be the kind of things that we will be, the highway commissioner has, and Scott, jump in here. I know you guys went out and you were buying above and beyond what county was giving us, the gloves, the masks, cleaning
Yeah,
supplies.
we're getting it all. Whatever
Yeah.
we run, so just so we don't run short, we'll.
Right.
We'll
So,
stop that.
yeah, so all of that will be included. Thank you. Chris, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just wanted to clarify that.
No, that sounds reasonable. That sounds exactly. I'm glad you said something. That's, and if there's any other questions about that, I don't want to take up too much time. Again, it's in the very early formation stages because we had difficulty resting the organizational properties necessary to get the board involved, but it's moving along very quickly now, and we expect to see a great deal more information come out, like beginning with our next meeting, the CAC meeting next Monday. I think it's going to be in the morning, but check the county website for that. On other items from the county, yesterday we passed a resolution, an intergovernmental agreement with the IDOT for an extra $2.5 million for the Long Meadow Parkway project. They said that it possibly could lower or remove the toll, but I have yet to see that that's a possibility. They keep saying something like that. But the project is underway, and it's going to be finishing phases along over the next year and should be done by next year, 2021. We also, in the Forest Preserve, passed the engineering to remove Carpentersville Dam. The Planning Committee also approved extensive repair on the trail south of the Bruner Farm Forest Preserve that washed out the water retention there at the industrial park, as well as the trail. Will be a blacktop, new blacktop. And the Liquor Control Board is listening to options from the owners of the cantina, the old milk pail, about modifying their permit. I think that's pretty much what applies specifically to Dundee Township. So that's my report.
Great.
Any questions? I would be happy to answer them.
Trustee Johnson?
Go ahead, trustee.
Yes, sir.
Chris, I was contacted by a township resident who saw that the League of Women Voters has launched I guess a web campaign on the basis that after 7 or 8 years, there is still no conservation plan for Bruner. Is that a fact?
I know that the League of Women Voters has published some information on the internet about the general plan for the Bruner Forest Preserve, but I'm not deeply involved in that. I would be happy if you run into any information, please get it to me.
All I've seen is the comments.
I am on the planning committee. I am on the planning committee, and I know things are going slower than I would like to see it, because it is still mostly in farmland. I'd like to see a stepped up transition from farmland into back to the native prairies. And I would more than welcome any input from the general public to give support to that argument.
Well, we paid a high price and inconvenience for the Long Meadow Tollway, and I was kind of shocked to learn that there is no plan.
Well, there is a plan, but it's not well formed right now. It's as a matter of fact, the plans have changed. They even modified there will be no snowboard business on the north side of the Raging Buffalo because I think I reported earlier that there was not a suitable business to run that. And so what we will be doing now as a forest reserve is putting that hillside that's down from your house into native vegetation and have potential for a snow sledding hill. And that's where the parking lot will be. I believe it's already in, the parking lot's in there, but there will be no additional structures, I don't believe, for snowboarding or recreation.
It really doesn't sound like a comprehensive conservation plan. I'll just leave it at that. It's not really directly related to township business.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I have something, George, if you're done, I have a couple of things to say.
Yes.
Go ahead, trustee Harney.
Okay, Chris, I would like to suggest, the last time I looked at the long-term plan for Bruner, the completion date of it was literally 50 years out, which I spoke to Director Myers about it and other people, and as far as I know, that was never changed. So that would be one of my strongest suggestions, is that the plan be modified for a build out or a completion date of maybe 15 years. And one of the ways they could do that, hear me out here. One of the ways they could do that is if instead of, if the gentleman who's pasturing his livestock out there right now, if he would add prairie to those, just strips of prairie to the current pasture land, he was willing to do that when he first negotiated that lease. And that could be done again. And then that would actually enhance, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to make this stop. There, okay. Apologize, everyone. Anyway, he agreed, he was open to doing this in the beginning, and the Forest Preserve chose not to. By doing that, within about a decade, you would have most of the land that's currently being used as pasture and being grazed. It would still be used for grazing. You could still rent it to him, but it would be mostly in prairie at that point. It would grow over time. At least that's what the experience has been in other places. So there's that. And the last suggestion, not the last, but another one I have is, it really disturbs me that they have pigs out there, because once again, there is nothing to do with conservation with the pigs. I've seen the pens. Those animals just tear everything up and then they rotate them around. So it's a constant churning up of that soil. And so I would like to suggest that instead of looking at Bruner as a moneymaker and collecting rent on it, that the highest priority be the conservation, and at a more reasonable time frame. And I don't think 15 years is too short a time, given the fact that you could lease it out and plant it in prairie. You would take a lesser amount for the rent, but I don't think that should be a problem.
Okay, I know that I have talked to Monica Myers, and I should be receiving something shortly from her about the renewed lease and from the guy that's running the farm out there, All Grass Farms. So I believe the subject will be coming up shortly.
Has it already been renewed?
For new lease. No, it has not. So
Okay.
this is the time to strike. So hopefully, let's stay in touch.
I'll give you a call. We'll do this offline.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay. Who was that? Who said that?
Ms. Johnson.
Okay,
Saying
go ahead,
thank
George,
you.
sorry. Okay. Office manager. Do you have a report?
Just to let you know, we are still plodding through the financial audit for the last fiscal year. Our auditors are wanting to do it remotely, so it's taking a lot longer to gather the documents, convert them to PDFs, and scan all the information to them and back and forth. So hopefully we will be done in about another month. And that's about it.
Okay. I'm going to give a very quick supervisor's report. I have two things. Today, I participated in a virtual town hall along with the Dundee Township Park District Director and the Fox Valley Public Library District. The three of us each had about 15 minutes or so to give updates. And then there was another 20 minutes or so of questions and then followed answers. So that went well. The 708 Mental Health Board of Trustees met for the first time on July 9th. They, pursuant the statute, we selected a president and a secretary. The minutes will be approved at our next meeting in August. But I will tell you that the president is Alec Schaffer and the secretary is Maria Burrium. And then along with the statutes, the trustees had to determine what year of service they had. And I will do this in years of service. Trustee Alec Schaffer and Trustee Maria Burrium will be serving 2 years. Trustee Dawn Armerio, Trustee Paul Setz will be serving 3 years, and Trustee Witt, Trustee Olden, and Supervisor Glees will be serving 4 years. And then as you figure, as the 2 years, as the 2 and the 3 year terms expire, they turn into 4-year terms, so that the board is never rotating all at once. That's all I have on the 708 board. I talked to you about trees, the storms. Is there any questions for me?
Going back, Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
will those 708 minutes be on the township website?
Right, they filed the same open meetings and Robert's rules. They'll be approved at the next meeting and they'll be uploaded. If you go to the website right now under meetings, agendas and meetings, the video of the meeting is up there along with the agenda, but the meetings, because they have not been approved yet, you won't see those till after the August meeting, just like ours.
Thank you.
But the video is up there.
Trustee Schaffer, Could you send out a notification of those meeting dates when they are, the week that they occur?
So you got, yeah, they're listed on the website, but I'll make sure that the board knows about them. I'll send you
And what
out
time are you meeting?
6:30 in the evening.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Bob, can you do me a favor and make a note that I should send out a special notification to the board? Thank you. Okay, any other questions? All right. Attorney. Kurt, do you have any reports for us?
No report tonight. Thank you, Trish.
Thank you very much. Deputy Clerk, do we have a report or anything like that?
No.
Excellent. Trustees,
Yes,
do you have any report? Trustee Harney, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
I had a good conversation with Paul Seitz a week or two ago, and we talked about a number of things, but among them was his concern that that the township was too focused on open space and an open space caretaking and everything. And I did a breakdown of the budget, and I did this myself, so I will defer to Bob, who I never got the figures to. But we spend approximately 20 to 22% of our budget, both the personnel budget and the township budget on open space, which I believe is appropriate given the fact that, the voters approved this and we have something like a $23 million investment in these lands. And so keeping them up, keeping them accessible to the public and safe, as well as keeping them repaired adequately, I think is really important. I know one of the things that he was concerned with was a perceived lack of concern about the caring for people in the township. And I think that perhaps we don't discuss that as often as we might, and maybe that would be a good idea. But I think the fact that we spend a significant amount of our budget and our personnel, helping people, I think certainly laid to rest my concerns that perhaps we were overemphasizing open space at the expense of everything else. And lastly, he and I did not talk about this, but I did want to make this point that I have, open space has been a real godsend for me to be able to walk out on it during the time of the COVID virus. And I am seeing enormous numbers of people on a regular basis walking when I'm walking, and also when I drive by the parking lots and everything. And I think it's important for everyone to remember that care of the environment and care of things like open space are the other side of the coin of caring for our community. People who are in need actually benefit enormously from having a place to go that does not cost them additional money. All they have to do is get there. And of course, we all benefit from the fact that the water filtration and the ecosystem services that come out of our open space. So I wanted to just thank Paul for his time, and I'm hoping he will perhaps add to this about his impressions of the conversation, but I did want you all to know that I'd followed up on that. I'd also, once again, and this is the reason I put it on the budget, to have us discuss again putting the referendum item back on. And I understand the reluctance of the rest of you to do this anymore, but I am really deeply upset that we were compelled to transfer $15,000 of tax dollars that should have gone to public service in order to defend a position that is indefensible. And Scott, I'm directing this directly to you as the highway commissioner. If you would just cooperate and allow that whistleblower investigation, the expense would be nearly nothing, certainly not $15,000. I can't imagine that there could be anything so terrible that it would disrupt at that level that you couldn't get this done. And I ask that you reconsider your opposition to letting this very simple investigation move forward, and that we get this behind us and in back of us. And I also, once again, make the pitch. We have 1 month left that we can put this on the agenda and pass it. And then we are not approving it. We are allowing the voters to approve it. I absolutely understand that the three gentlemen on the board vehemently disagree with this. I respect what their disagreement and their reasons that I've heard, but the voters need to do this. It's their tax dollars. And the fact that we are doing something, that the current road commissioner is blocking something as routine and as run-of-the-mill as a whistleblower complaint from investigation, and allocating $15,000 for legal fees. And there's a bill tonight, and the bill's to be paid of $787, which I suspect is the first installment on those on that payment. So again, I am strongly opposed that this money has to be spent this way. I think it's completely unnecessary. And I ask for the next meeting that the other trustees, that you allow the voters to make the decision and not be gatekeepers, and not allow the voters to make the decisions about how their tax dollars are spent. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other trustees that would like to speak?
Johnson.
Go ahead.
I would like to climb on something earlier that Sue just said. I know there's a gentleman who has voiced the concern that we apparently have no long-range plan, no strategic plan. I think we do, it's just not voiced. And so what I'd like to do is ask Bob Block to start by making a pie chart. And this pie chart would show, similar to what Sue is tempted to do on her own, what we spend on open space, what we spend on, let's call them human services. That would encompass, it would consolidate the ride and cane, the clothes closet, the food pantry, GSA, those sorts of social services. Cemetery would be a slice of the pie. General administration, which can't be identified as anything specific, would be a slice of the pie. We don't have a mission statement, but I think such a pie chart would reflect the mission that we've all unconsciously, if lack of a better word, chosen for the township. And obviously our mission is being played out with limited resources. And so, you know, there's arguments that one area might be prioritized over another area. Well, let's start by looking at it. And I think this also could be a springboard for the next budgeting process when we look at this pie chart and say, are these priorities what we want them to be? That's all.
Okay. Any other trustee reports?
Well, Bob, could you do that, do you think?
Bob, you're muted, sorry.
He's still mute. Oh, there he goes.
That was always part of the budget preamble for the last several years, but then that was kind of not wanted this year, but can certainly reinstate it.
Yeah, it would simply be consolidated into broader areas so that we can look at what we're prioritizing and also what we're not prioritizing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to put 2 cents to that. Remember, there are 3 state statutes to which we could call our mission statement, but there are 3 state statutes that are key that we have to keep in mind, that we have to, follow. So just, I like where you're going with this, George. I like where you're going with this. Okay. I can't see Trustee Schaefer. Okay.
Yes, just a note to George. I would like to see actual expenses that we did for the last fiscal year, not what the budget was necessarily, but what we actually expended. And maybe that would entail 2 different pie charts. But the fact that we have a lot of budget sometimes and don't spend it, I think is an important reference to look at.
I agree.
Okay.
Trustee Johnson, I agree with Trustee Schaefer. If I had to choose one or the other, I would choose actual expenses.
Yes, actual, what we spent in the past year. Yeah. I think, Bob, we can do that.
Yes.
So, okay. Trustee Aherns, I can't see you. Did you have a comment
No, I don't.
or a report?
No.
Okay. I believe that covers all of our reports. With that, we're going to go to public comments. Everybody's going to have to bear with me. Public comments are going to be limited to 3 minutes per person. The supervisor, the clerk, the assessor, the highway commissioner, or the trustees may not respond, or they may respond to questions during the public comment period. Any follow-up comments will be made at the discretion of the elected official. I have, and I will save these to the end, I have 3 written letters that I will be reading verbatim, but let's go through the participants board. I will unlock you. If I know who you are, I'll say your name. If I don't, I'm sorry. It's the last 3 numbers of your telephone number. If you do not want to speak, you can say pass. Thank you. The first person I'm unmuting is, and the telephone number ends in 227. You are unmuted. Do you have a public comment?
No, I'll pass right now.
Thank you. 227. Okay. The next one is Mr. Mayo. I'm going to unmute you. Do you have a comment for the board?
I'll pass right now.
Thank you. Mr. Kemp, do you have a comment for the board?
Yes, I do. Under phase 4 of the COVID disaster, we've got some relief on the social distancing and number of people. And I attended a meeting in the village of Algonquin along with 3 trustees with masks, and they opened their boardroom up to audience participation. And I would expect the same from the township board. I sit here on the phone and I have trouble hearing Sue Harney's comments. I have been kicked off the meetings or was dropped because of my flip phone or whatever. I would expect to be able to come to next month's meeting in person with a mask, and I don't see that being a problem under the current phase 4 guidelines. Also, Ms. Glees, your vote might not matter, but your abstention speaks loudly. You ducked the question. We don't know your stance on the issue. Your abstention was very weak. That is all.
Okay. I'm going to respond right to you right now, Mr. Kemp. Per Senate Bill 2135, it is under my discretion whether or not I will open up the meetings while we are in a disaster declaration. I will take this, I will determine meetings week by week and or month by month. So as you know, if we are having the meetings via electronic, which is what the expectation will be, you can request via info@dundeetownship.org to get access. It's also listed on the it is also listed on the website, the agenda, and Mr. Kemp, we will keep making we will keep sending you the dial-in information directly, since we do know that you are using, you don't have the website capability. Thank you. I am muting you again. Moving on to Mr. Salas, I'm unmuting you. Do you have a comment for the board?
I pass.
Thank you. Trustee Harney, I accidentally muted you. Could you please unmute yourself? Thank you. I'm very sorry about that. The next person is Katie Meyer. Do you have a comment for the board? Katie Meyer, do you have a comment for the board? Okay, I'm going to mute Ms. Meyer. If you do have one, you can comment in the chat window and we'll try to catch it. The next person is Mr. Rackow. Mr. Rackow, do you have a comment for the board?
I'll pass.
Thank you. The next person is Mr. Sitz. Do you have a comment for the board?
I'll pass.
Okay, thank you very much. And the caller named Steve, do you have a comment for the board?
I'll pass.
Okay, with that, I do not see anybody else online, which will take me to my 3 letters. They are not going to be read in any special order other than the way I pulled them. The first letters is July 15th, 2020, Dundee Township Board of Trustees, regular meeting, 7 p.m. Dear Township Trustees, I am writing to register my disagreement with the way the annual raises or wage adjustments have been treated for the cemetery staff. I feel that it's inappropriate and unfair that some township departments have received annual raises while others have not. Included in the latter category is our department, whose staff has gone above and beyond and runs the great risk of exposure during this COVID-19 crisis. Daily, we are facing public and cannot fully avoid contact with cemetery patrons. We have also had a 59% increase in burials this year to date. Many hours of additional columbarium maintenance, and yet have maintained our 2 cemeteries. It has only been accomplished by extreme effort and dedication. Additionally, I believe the handling of our newest employees' transition from part-time to full-time staff without any additional compensation was similarly inappropriate. There is established and recent precedents for a notable increase in hourly wages in the situation. His increased role and responsibilities within the township should be recognized accordingly. I hope that you are able to come to some sort of solution to address these concerns that is satisfactory to everyone involved. Sincerely, Mark Rako, Cemetery Manager. Before I read the next one, is there any comments from the Board of Trustees? Seeing no comment, I will continue. Dated 7/14/2020, to whom it may concern. Eric from the Dundee Township Cemetery, my respects to all the frontline workers during this pandemic. Every 10 to 15 feet, a new grave can be spotted. A clear indicator of how real and how close to home this pandemic is. Although there are multiple issues that should be discussed, one major issue stands out. Amongst all of the additional responsibilities given to the cemetery staff, the large uptick in recent burials and dealing with this pandemic quite literally hands-on. How is it just that multiple other departments got raises, but not the cemetery staff? Sincerely, Eric Sellis. Do I have any comments? Seeing no comments, I move on. The next one, dated July 15th, 2020. I, Anthony Mayo, am writing this to the Township Board to express my concerns for the future of the Township Cemetery. My coworkers have seen have been a great asset to our team and have gone above and beyond to assist with customer relations and burials. As you know, our cemetery clientele is very diverse and continues to change daily. In addition, this is not a job for everyone. Dealing with death on a daily basis, and you cannot be trained in a short time span as how to perform all the necessary duties it takes to make the cemetery function properly. Therefore, I believe it is in the best interest of the board to adjust our co-workers' wage, in parentheses, scale, in order to assure a good future for our changing cemetery. Thank you for your time, Anthony Mayo. Are there any comments?
We're all
Miss-
employees of the cemetery. Aaron speaking.
Go ahead, Trustee Aherns. Yes, all 3 letters came from the cemetery. That is correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Block, I will be handing you these letters for, as they were handed to me, there are many already public record, but I will be handing these to you for continued public record. Seeing that there are no other comments, and I've gone through everybody on the phone, let us move on.
Trustee Schaffer,
Go ahead.
just a question. Why were those letters not included in our board packets for tonight?
Because I got them this afternoon after the fact.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
I think it would be advisable to respond to the 3 individuals with the information that this issue of other departments is not closed. The assumption inherent in all 3 of those letters is that it's, quote, a done deal, quote, with other departments, and it's not.
Okay.
And they should have that information.
Okay.
Am I
And
correct?
wait, excuse me, Trustee Harney. I'm sorry. So Trustee Johnson, when you say that the deal's not closed, what exactly does that mean? The deal's not closed?
Means we are reopening the budget on July 27th.
Okay.
Was that
No, that was Trustee Johnson, and it's July 29th.
Thank you.
But okay,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I just wanted clarification by what you meant by this isn't a done deal. Trustee Harney.
I was following up essentially what George was saying as well. This will be a part of our discussions during reopening the budget. But a part of it for me, and believe me, I know that everybody in the cemetery, everybody in the township, especially the cemetery people, are exposed to folks who have lost a loved one and you know, are upset and anguished at that time. It troubles me deeply that we had to do this. We will be looking at this again when we reopen the budget. But the problem that troubles me as deeply is the fact that we are paying operational costs out of our reserves. And we're at the end of the road on that. We have absolutely got to get our budget under control, and we have to be able to pay salaries and expenses out of our ongoing revenue. And if we can get to that point, then we absolutely need to address the issues that have been raised by the gentleman in the cemetery. I would be, well, we'll discuss this more during the budget session, and
That would be
in a week or two.
Right, on July 29th. Anybody who is in the public, I will reiterate, it will be on the website. July 29th is the public hearing for the reopening of the general fund budget. With that, there is no, I'm closing public comments. There is no new business. We are moving on to audit and approve bills. You received an updated number in your packet. I will go through it verbally for those who are on the phone. Pending town fund bills are monthly bills are $44,651.24. The town monthly payroll was $59,891. Oh God, let me start that over again. The monthly payroll was for the town fund was $59,819.89 for a total of $104,471.13. GA monthly bills were $4,792.66. Payroll was $1,262.72 for a total of $6,055.38. Cemetery monthly bills were $4,381.25. Monthly payroll was $18,594.04 for a total of $22,975.29. Highway Department monthly bills were $13,796.04. Monthly payroll was $30,429.25 for a total of $44,225.29. I'm going to now read the totals. Monthly bills were $67,621.19. Monthly payroll was $110,105.90. The total comes to $177,727.09. I am now looking for a motion to approve the bills as audited.
Okay, before you do that,
There was a change, wasn't there?
yes.
Sorry, guys.
Two things to note. One, I don't know if you saw your emails this afternoon. There were two bills added from the packet that went out Monday night. They went out this afternoon. That was a bill for ComEd for the cemetery for $25.11, and a bill from the Daily Herald for the cost of publishing the notice of the revision budget hearing on July 29th, and that cost was $71.30. If you are willing, I was emailed a bill very late at about 6 o'clock tonight from Assessor Bielak's office saying, sorry for the late notice. And since there's a conflict, according to my counsel, I believe this is your bill. This is a bill from Roser and Associates for professional services rendered for Mike from January 1 of 2020 to July 7th of 2020, having to do with telephone conferences with the assessor regarding budget approval and substitute amended budget, researching the unlawful revision of his adopted budget.
Bob, can I stop you real quick? I don't think we want to read off the entries of the legal invoice.
Well, it's an invoice, Kurt. Okay, Kurt. Dirk has always told me that's subject to FOIA and everybody.
Not the actual entries there. We can read off the amounts and the dates, but not the actual entries about the if it's communications, there's a concern there.
All right, I'll change up from what Dirk usually says. The bill is for $1,400.00. So that would be and another addition to the township bills under the supervisor's department.
Why is the supervisor paying for that?
Well, if I can read this, Mr. Roser's note says, pursuant to our discussion of today, attached is an invoice for submission to the township clerk for matriculation. So I guess I'm going back to college. Seeing as the township council has refused to advise or help you on these matters, citing a perceived conflict of interest, this debt does not belong to your office, but the township.
And my question is that the case that Kurt, your office won't help him?
I'm sorry, if there's a conflict between the assessor and the rest of the board, then the assessor has the right to independent counsel. So if there's a conflict between what the assessor is asking and what we're advising the board, we can't advise both parties on the same issue.
Okay. I'd like to postpone that bill until next month so we can look at it a little more.
Okay.
Any other questions on the board?
Trustee Johnson, I agree with Sue. I'd like to probe the issues involved here a little further before we pay that bill.
Okay. Trustee Aherns, Trustee Schaffer, any other comments on the bills?
Yes, I got a couple questions here. I didn't think we're that far yet, to be honest with you.
I don't think we've had a
We do
motion
need a
yet.
motion to go further.
Yeah, I need a first and a second.
I'll move to approve the bills as with the exception of the one that arrived at 6 o'clock tonight.
Well, okay, well, we're just motioning so we can have a discussion. So I have Trustee Harney. Do I have a second?
Johnson.
Trustee Johnson. All right, now continue with your discussion.
Town fund, garbage and recycling is $377 and change every month. Cemetery is $234 and change. Why is the highway department so cheap? It's only $131, almost $132. Why can't we get together and get them all the same? I understand the town fund is recycling also, but dude, at my home here, I do not pay for recycling. That's free. Maybe in a business it's different. I
Yes,
don't.
unfortunately, recycling on a commercial basis is not free as it is at your. We'd have to check some more. I think a lot of it has to do with the frequency of the pickup. They are picking up at least once a week, if not multiple times a week, at open space due to the volume of trash they're picking up from the open space sites. So the frequencies have a lot to do with the amount of the fee.
How often do they pick up at the highway department?
I'm not sure. You'd have to ask Scott.
Scott, can you answer that question? Do you know how often garbage or refuge is picked up at the highway department?
Yeah, I think it's once a week. I'm not positive. We got a pretty good sized dumpster, so.
You're talking over $100 a month difference. If they're getting it cheaper than the cemetery.
Correct.
Well,
Can you guys check into that and see if we can do it cheaper?
Yeah, we'll
More
look
cheaply?
at it.
Yep.
And your recycling, is it that much more? You're at $377 where Scott or the highway department's down to only $132 and 32 close.
Well, Scott doesn't have recycling.
No, I
No.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hold on, and I'll give you the exact number.
What's your
hang on just 1 minute, hang on.
Okay, for the open space group, the bill is $221 for the garbage service. It's a multiple pickup per week. It's 2 pickups per week. and then a single pickup per week for the recycling at $102. And then the difference are the environmental fees that company charges of about $40 to $50 a month. So it is double the frequency of the highway district, and then the recycling adds 100.
Okay, that explains it. Thank you. But I think you ought to look into one company doing them all. You might get them all a little cheaper.
Sure.
Hey, Bob, don't we all use Groot?
No, Groot is the cemetery and open space. We're flood here at the
Right, Flood Brothers.
And the highway department uses waste management.
Okay. Any other questions on the bills? No other questions? Can I please have a voice vote?
Okay, Trustee Harney,
Aye.
Trustee Aherns,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
Trustee Schaffer,
No.
Supervisor Glees.
Yes, that is 4-1, and the bills have been approved as audit. We have no budget transfers, and we have no executive session. With that, if there's no more comments, I look.
Do we need an executive session to discuss minute release?
You mean executive session minutes?
Yes.
We can't review them because we're not in person. There's no way for you to review them.
Yeah, it's an outstanding question. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way for me to give you those minutes and have you review them.
Okay. I'm putting the question out there.
I got it. Okay. Hang on 1 minute. I'm admitting somebody else to the meeting. Miss Carrie Lynn Kafer is joining us. Hi, Miss Kafer. We were just about to adjourn. Our audio's coming. We were just about to adjourn. Do you have any comments for us? Nope. Okay. All right. Then is there any other, do any other trustees have any other comments?
I like where Bob's at.
Okay, for the record, because those people who are on audio can't see, Bob, what golf course are you at, and what?
12th hole at Augusta National.
Bob, is that the 13th hole?
12th.
12th?
Amen corner.
Amen corner.
All right. So with that, I am looking for a motion to adjourn. I need a first.
So moved, Johnson.
I have Trustee Johnson. I need a second.
Aherns.
I have Trustee Aherns. Is there any discussion? Seeing that there is no discussion, I am going to call for a voice vote.
Trustee Schaffer,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Harney,
Yes.
Trustee Aherns,
Yes.
Supervisor Glees.
Yes. Seeing that there were 5 yeses, I call this meeting to an end. I am going to stop recording now, and at that point, I will end the meeting, so please do not say anything.